And so your question for me is what now?
Well, I was making a statement about what do
Oh,
you think
okay.
about TV and the way they portray families? Like the guy's complaining, a relationship isn't supposed to be this hard. It's not. I've been with my wife 35 years. We have no nonsense like that going on.
Does she obey you? So you're married with children, right?
So we're together.
And then you want to move out of the state, and she's saying that she want to bring her parents with her,
Yes.
and you don't want that to happen.
Heck no.
And why don't you just put your feet down and tell it ain't going to happen? They're not coming with us. Paul, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you, Jesse. How you doing?
All is well, Paul.
Yeah, I was calling about the guy yesterday that you were talking to. When he said when he got home from work, or he had days off, his wife would want to talk. And he said he would talk to her, and she'd start crying if she didn't like the answer, and he's got to console her. And he was like, relationship shouldn't be this hard. And it's not supposed to be. But, I think people watch TV, and if you look at TV, they never portray a happy couple. There's always in turmoil. The kids are problems. If they're like a married couple trying to have a kid, it's almost near impossible. And usually always miscarriage. Not all, but most. It's like it's so difficult to have a family, be happy. But they show the single people, you know what? They're having a good time, no kids, carefree, happy as could be. It's like they want to destroy this image of the happy family. And you know what? I think a lot of people watch that and internalize it. I'm like showing my wife, I'm like, what do you think about this? She's like, yeah. I'm like, that's why some of these women are crazy. They're like, oh, are you here with me? You don't seem, where are you? And I'm like, that's the stuff on TV. And they take that and they run with it. And they go home and they wonder why the husband starts drinking and wants to get away from them.
And so your question for me is what now?
Well, I was making a statement about what do you
okay.
think about TV and the way they portray families? Like the guy's complaining, a relationship isn't supposed to be this hard. It's not. I've been with my wife 35 years. We have no nonsense like that going on.
Does she obey you?
Yes.
Your wife obey you?
Yes, she does.
How old is she?
She's 52.
Oh, that might be why, because the women from the old schools are different than the women today. It's nearly impossible for a man to have an effortless marriage today, because the woman is on an ego trip and she want to be like the man, and she want to be catered to, and all this kind of stuff, and she's filled with anger. So it's not like when it was in the old school. So maybe you guys are doing it the old way, the right way, where that's not happening today at all.
Yeah, you're right. Because I have two sons. My older son, he's with somebody, and you know what? He bought a fishing bucket. She's carrying on about it. My younger son, he wouldn't put up with that nonsense.
Did he tell her to shut up about it, or he let her argue about it?
He didn't. He don't engage it. He just he ignores her. She gets upset, but she gets over it.
Oh, good. I'm glad he's not arguing with her, because the worst thing, there are many worse things, but the worst thing that a man can do with his woman, whether it's girlfriend or fiance or wife, is to argue with her. He should never, ever, ever argue with the woman, because he's arguing with the devil.
Yeah. You know what? You're right. Like these women that want to be the men. Another thing I noticed was, I know a few guys that they go to work and turn the paycheck over to the wife, and she gives them an allowance. And in the end, most of the time, the wife's spending all the money. Like, they always got money problems. But another issue that seems to prop up is she winds up finding somebody and having an affair with them, because she doesn't respect him as a man. He's not taking control.
Right. Because women, in their soul, they can't help it. They're looking for a man that will guide them out of the hell that they're in, to not cater to their mindset and their emotions, but to show them how to overcome that emotion, because that is the nature of the devil. And it's hard for women to find men that don't need them and that they're able to show them how to overcome that hell.
Yes, that's
Amazing.
absolutely true. It is amazing.
Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jesse.
Okay.
Love you, man.
Love you too, buddy. Thank you. Robert, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, how you doing, Jesse?
All is well, Robert.
Good morning. I have a question. I wanted to potentially in the future move out of state and, want to move out my family. And my gal says that, she wants to bring her parents. I'm not okay with it 100%. She has a brother and sister that could provide for their parents. What should I do, or how should I approach it?
So you're married with children, right?
We're together.
And then you want to move out of the state, and she's saying that she want to bring her parents with her?
Yes.
And you don't want that to happen?
Heck no.
And why don't you just put your feet down and tell them it ain't going to happen? They're not coming with us. It's not even up for discussion if you don't want to do it.
Because she's saying, well, I won't move out, or I won't,
She's saying that if you don't let her take her parents, she's not going?
Pretty much.
So why don't you...
My argument was that she has another sister and a brother that could, potentially take care of them. And they're not even old. I wouldn't say that they're, senior
Well, why don't you
citizens,
just tell
like
them, good rhythm to bad rubbish. I'm going. You can stay, but I'm leaving. Leave her behind. If she love her parents more than she love you, leave her behind.
But I do love my kids, and I love her too.
Well, take your kids with you and leave her behind. Now, Robert out of Chicago, he want to move from the state, and he want to take his wife and kids, but his wife is saying that, no, you're going to bring my parents. He's like, no, I'm not taking your parents. And she, well, if you don't take my parents, I'm not going. Robert want to know, what should I do? Hey, Robert.
Yes.
So why can't you leave her behind if she's refusing to follow you, and you should listen to her and take the parents with you? You're going to regret it, because every time the man listens to the woman, he suffers.
Of course, yeah, I agree 100%.
So why can't you just leave her behind if she refused to follow you?
Because it'll be a mess. It'll be just a chaotic. It'll obviously, I have to convince her not to bring her parents, and I'll still bring her and my kids, but not her parents. I want to get to that point. I don't want to get to the point where I have to leave her permanently. And
why not? Why don't you want to get to that if you have to?
Because I built so much with her already. Like it would not make sense to just throw it down the drain, like you're saying.
But take it with you.
What does that mean?
Take your children and your stuff with you, and leave her there with her folks.
Yeah.
She is not willing to obey you and follow you. It's just going to be hell for you if you take the parents or if you stay there with her. I promise you, you're going to suffer, and it's going to be hell for you, because every time the man listens to the woman, he suffers. A woman is supposed to follow her husband. He is not her family, not her daddy, not her mama, not her brothers and sisters, but you are her family, and she should follow you. Without any fight at all, she should follow you.
It's more like, because we're Mexican and Mexican American. So, there's that saying, oh, you marry me, you marry my whole family.
But that's a lie.
Whatever.
You didn't marry the whole family.
Yeah, I agree.
I hear women say that who already have children. If you marry me, you marry my children too. No, I'm not. I'm marrying you, not your children. Yeah. That's why a man shouldn't marry a woman with children. But you didn't marry her family. You married her, and she has a responsibility to follow you. And if she doesn't, Robert, leave her behind. And don't argue with her about it.
Yeah.
Just say, either you come with me or you stay behind. I'm leaving with my children. Why can't you do that?
There'll be court filings with that, custody battle and stuff like that.
Well, fight the battle if you have to. Because with that, you're letting her control you with that too.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. All right, man. I appreciate it, Jesse. All right.
Why is it so hard to do it the right way?
I'll talk to her. I'll definitely talk to her. I've really got to, like you told me earlier, set both my feet, down and let her know it's not going to happen.
Have a wait and see. But if you finally be strong with this woman, she may follow you. You've been weak forever, and she's not going to follow. Women don't want to follow a weak man unless they do it her way. But if I'm telling you, if you stay there or you allow this woman to bring her parents with you, I promise you, you haven't seen hell. It's going to get worse.
I agree, Jesse. I appreciate it.
And
Thank you, man. I'll definitely have a talk with her.
If it means losing her to do the right thing, give her note. She has expired. Her time is over.
That'll be the last option, I guess. Yeah.
But if you're afraid to lose her, man, you're going to regret it.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Okay.
All right, let me know how it goes.
Thank you, Jesse. All right, you have a blessed week, all right?
All right, you too, buddy. Yeah, don't be afraid, guys. It's time to wake up.